This is the Patriots Postgame Show.
First down, touchdown. Dive to the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots.
With Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo.
Hand off to Stevenson. Runs his left big hole across the 40. Cuts left at the 45. And steamrolls the defender there.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500. Or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I hope y'all keep that same energy for tonight, baby. Can't wait.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, welcome into this episode of the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings, where the Patriots today here at Gillette Stadium fell to the Kansas City Chiefs. We will be taking your phone calls, 855-PATS-500, emails, webradio@patriots.com. I think it's safe to say at this point that Bailey Zappe has presented himself as a decent first-half quarterback. In terms of what happens in the second half, well, we'll get to that. But in terms of what he can give you through the first two quarters of a game, okay, enough to keep you in a game, enough to make you think that you're going to stand a fair chance against some decent teams, 14-10 at halftime. Problem is, it wasn't until a touchdown much later into the fourth quarter did the Patriots find the scoreboard again, 27-17 the final. We will get to all of it, including our good, bad, and injured list. A lot of injuries for the Patriots today. Banged up to begin with, as we know, from much earlier in the season defensively. More players going down, some who made it back into the game, others who did not. For his day, Bailey Zappe, numbers-wise, 23 of 31, not bad. There was a point, at least starting the second half, where I believe he still stood at 17 of 19. He had completed 17 of 19 pass attempts, and that was into the first half. But not much after that. One touchdown and one horrific, unforgivable, what were you thinking, Mac Jones-esque interception that gave the Chiefs a short field, which they did not need as they were already in the lead, and they just improved upon that. Terrible third quarter for the Patriots. If you're looking for one quarter to kind of like sum up what went wrong for the Patriots in this game, look no further than the third quarter. That's when it all came undone, and that's where the game was truly lost here today. But as I said, you're welcome to join us here at 855-PATS-500 and send the emails to webradio@patriots.com as we dissect what changed after halftime. It was a competitive game for two quarters, and then it went completely the other direction, especially offensively for the Patriots here today. Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault now joining us. Did you also get held up in the post-game Taylor Swift extra security, don't walk here, you can't come down here, stop what you're doing? Did you see her? Is that what happened?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I think we might have been held up. I mean, everybody was held. Even Patriots, front office people are sitting there waiting like, we got stuff to do here.
It's between the Kansas City Chiefs ownership, which travels in a Jersey Shore-like entourage wherever they go. There's 20 of them.
That is accurate.
Like a blonde version of the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, well,
not as many.
There were
an attractive version.
But, I mean, no exaggeration, there were 8 to 10 in the ownership traveling party that prevented us from getting on the elevator to go upstairs after the pregame show. And just now, they stop people from walking down the ramp. I don't even attempt to get on the elevators postgame. I just take the long walk down the ramp because that'll save me some time until we all got held up. Yeah. Stadium workers, we just had to stand there. I'm like, what are we waiting for? And finally, I just kind of walked.
Yeah,
I just
screw
went.
this.
I'm like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
I got a post game show. I'm not gonna keep Morrell waiting. I gotta go, man. All right. So as I said before you guys got here, not even really a tale of two halves. it was a tale of a decent first half and a horrific third quarter for the Patriots today.
Yeah.
It was just really bad. I mean, outscored 13-0 in that third quarter, and that's where the game was lost.
Just to kind of, it was like last week's game. I think they got a couple breaks early on. They made a couple plays, and then I think it was whatever. Well, you said it. The third quarter pick, 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out. 4 straight punts and a pick to start the third quarter. But that was where the game was. I mean, Kansas City. Touchdown there. They got that touchdown at the end of the first half. Then they got out there, field goal, touchdown. I mean, it's 4 straight scoring drives for Kansas City. They pulled away. New England made a little bit of a push there with the Tavai interception, but ultimately I think the game was kind of over there after that sequence going from the into the third quarter.
Yeah, I thought for the most part when Kansas City was not shooting itself in the foot, it was largely non-competitive. I mean, it was close on the score at the half. Because of, like we talked about sort of the self-inflicted wounds, and they continued. And you can totally understand, watching Mahomes today, you could understand why he is so frustrated. They just don't catch the ball consistently enough on really some perfect pass. I mean, there's another drop by Kelsey of all people. And Kadarius Toney continues to do more things to damage his own team's chances of winning really than I could imagine any player.
That one drop he had that we were laughing about, I think it was near the end of the game, but right off his hands. But yeah, I hear what Paul's saying. Couple good drives, couple good throws. I mean, but ultimately just you regress towards the mean, and that's where they're at. Sorry, Hardy.
No, it's all right. I've been over.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to look for a little red zone action.
No, that's fine. Paul took that opportunity to get right in front of me here.
Sorry, bro.
You know what it was? It was a bad football game, really, for a lot of it. A couple of missed field goals to get things going. It's like you're watching bad execution in all 3 phases.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Hardy. It was in a lot of ways.
The Chiefs did not look like what they look like the Chiefs have looked this year, quite frankly.
Sure.
Last year they were able to overcome maybe a lack of a couple of offensive weapons by, playing a much shorter game and just getting down the field more methodically. Now they can't even do that, and they still managed to put up 27 points on you. And the hell of it is, certain members of the Patriots defense played great today, had really good games, but you're giving the ball back after too many 3-and-outs, and you're giving them too many opportunities. And even with the drop passes that the Chiefs receivers had, eventually they're going to pop on a couple, and that's what it took. Just the downfield passing game was a killer today. I mean, I think that's just, we talked about Patriots have a pretty good run defense and all that, but it's just you see Patrick Mahomes. He did what he does. He gets a little bit of extra time in the pocket. He can roll left. He has no problem opening up and firing the ball down the field, even when he's going to that side. Number of big plays. I mean, that's just surprising because our guest, early in the show, from Kansas City, was talking about how they can't make big plays, and I thought this game was littered with big plays by Kansas City. A lot of them late in the down, and I just thought it exploited kind of New England's lack of depth in the secondary. We can get into where was J.C. Jackson. I mean, Alex Austin was playing for him. J.C. Jackson didn't see him on the sidelines. Not sure what that dealio is.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what Bill has to say. I'm sure he'll be asked about it postgame. That's a good point, though, Mike. Just weird that he was active in the game, but I didn't even see him on the sideline.
And then they announced Jonathan Jones's injury, which he's been battling all year long at halftime, as being questionable. He gutted it out, but I mean, they had 3 cornerbacks, healthy for the game today. So it's just,
they were lucky they were facing a pedestrian set of receivers. Really, only one guy showed up, and that was Rashee Rice.
And
my
they
guy
still got exposed. So
this guy
that was a tough play right
he
there.
had opportunities to make a number of plays like that, and that was the only one he made. Watson, I think. I give this. Listen, the defense was undermanned again, but by no means did they play well. There was one guy, and we'll get to it. You want to start?
Yeah. Let's. You want to do the good,
Hardy?
the bad, and the injured? Yeah. All right.
Now it's time for the good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
The bad.
Hey, what happened?
And the injured.
You all right, guy?
Good, the bad, and the injured, brought to you by the good players, the bad players, and all of those injured players. We had a bunch of them today.
We did.
We'll start with the good. Deuce, Paul, you were getting ready to say something? One of you was getting ready to say a good? You got good?
Mike has one ready.
Good?
I got one ready. Hunter Henry. I mean, I just thought, he got hurt at the end, but I just thought he was tough game. Came through with some big catches, some tough catches.
Thought he was really good in the game.
Yeah,
too.
he's just been doing it all year for them. So, I give him a little bit of extra credit, just considering what's on the line, what this team's been through. And Hunter Henry's a guy that just continues to come, play hard, make tough catches, take tough hits. I mean, he took so many hits. I unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it wasn't really that surprising to see him get lit up and hurt at the end, because I felt like he was getting so many big hits laid on him. So Hunter Henry definitely
twice.
on my
He left the game twice.
Yeah.
And the second time I don't think he came back after that hit. But he did. He took a lot of hits, and just it was a tough day.
What'd you make of that
physical day?
Of the I only saw one replay of it on that hit right there, where we thought they were challenging the spot of the ball and the first down that Henry was given after that reception.
And on the initial hit on the short throw, it's not this one.
No.
The initial hit knocked the ball a little loose in his arm. And then when he actually hit the ground, the ball came out. So it was one of those didn't complete the act of the catch kind of deals. I think you could make an argument that he didn't get the first down, but I wasn't really expecting. You see the ball comes loose. Like right here, the ball comes loose. You see it go up in his hand, and then he's like double clutched it, and then the ball comes down when he rolls over.
Yeah.
That's what they called. But I don't think he ever got to that line, and they gave him the first down. But whatever, it was kind of irrelevant in a 17-point game anyway at that time.
Well, good job by whoever was upstairs for the Chiefs, because that happened very close to the
Right
Patriots.
here, you can see the ball. See the ball come loose, and then he pins it on his leg,
Back.
and then he comes back down.
To the left.
And when he swings it down right here, the ball's going to hit the ground right there.
Nah, it still looks like a catch to me. I know why they overruled it, but again, it is the mystery of what is a catch in the NFL.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so
Couldn't agree more.
But again, credit to whoever was upstairs for the Chiefs. Nobody even knew why they were challenging it. It's like, boy, is that was that really close enough to that?
Yeah,
It's like,
I was
no, it
surprised
for
because
the
I don't think they would have changed the spot, because I don't think it was conclusive that he didn't get to the line.
Right.
So yeah, I agree. I was initially confused.
All right. That was your first good. Hunter Henry. Paul, what's your first good?
Yeah, the only guy I really have on defense is Christian Barmore, who I thought was a monster again.
I got him.
I thought he was the only guy that really provided any consistent pressure. He was tough against the run, which is not his forte. Just physical, fast, angry. I just thought he played really well.
Yeah.
And that's a continuation for a better part of 2 months now.
He had a couple of angry tackles at the end of that game. He was just tossing guys around like rag dolls. So yeah, he was aggressive, and he was definitely he played to the whistle. I'll give him credit for that. We're already kind of like putting qualifiers on some of these, but I'll say first half Zappe, 17 of 19, 141 yards and a touchdown. First half Zappe was good.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't doing a lot, but he wasn't making mistakes. And he again, you complete 17 of 19 pass attempts and throw for 140 yards in a half. That is all that really you're asking for from that guy. And all right, they only put 10 points up on the board, but I'll give him credit for keeping them in it. And I kind of disagree with you, Paul.
What did I say?
No, earlier when you said that, the game was, score-wise competitive, but it really wasn't that much. I thought it was a competitive first half.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't think it was as competitive as the score indicated. That's all.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought
I thought it was an NFL game. The better team seemed to be in the lead the whole game.
By 4 points. Yeah.
No, I said it was competitive on the scoreboard.
Maybe we do agree. I think
it was definitely competitive on the scoreboard, 14-10 at the half.
Hey,
I don't think you can argue that.
No, we're gonna have to add qualifiers if we're gonna put too many more goods on the list, and that was it. First half.
Yeah,
Zappe,
I had and it wasn't even. I just thought he moved well.
Yep.
I wrote 4 moving well.
Yep.
That's all I wrote. I didn't think the touchdown pass was outstanding, but other than that, I didn't really think he made anything more, like you said, like just the inability to get the ball downfield. And I thought he had some opportunities. I thought he missed a really bad one to Demario Douglas, where he overshot him and should have gotten picked. He should have thrown about 4 picks today.
Or fumbled a couple.
He fumbled once, and McDermott recovered for him. I didn't think he played well, but I did think he moved in the pocket well because he was under a fair amount of pressure.
Yeah, I still think he's shown a little bit more, and not much more, but a little bit more than Mac had showed me this year.
I would agree.
It's just frustrating that you just want to, like, it's there for the taking. You knew that they were kind of up against it at halftime. That the momentum had shifted to Kansas City, and you were hoping that they'd be able to come out, get a stop, and see Zappe kind of carry over some good play in the second half. But it was, like I said, it was just really similar to last week. And I mean, they just were the dreadful 2023 Patriots offense in the second half. They didn't really do much of anything there until they got set up at the end with the touchdown that was handed to them basically from the interception.
Yeah, we have some more goods, individual plays, standouts.
Not really.
Yeah.
I liked a little what Parker was doing early, but he kind of faded a little bit. But a couple, a 20-yard play. I thought he had a couple nice plays.
That was
but
nice.
That was kind of it for me.
The Mapu interception was
that was a nice
outstanding
play, too.
I had the Mapu pick as one of those individual plays. I agree with you, Hardy. That was not an easy pick. I thought that was a good play by Mapu. But that's another example of, I thought, just self-inflicted wounds by Kansas City.
Hold on to the ball.
Both
out of his hands.
Both interceptions hit the receiver first. And end up in the other team's hands.
Oh, boy.
Well, it gave the Patriots their only lead of the day. It gave them the 10-7 lead.
And that's kind of like what I meant by, like, I thought it was competitive on the scoreboard, but I thought if Kansas City could just sort of settle down and stop tripping over itself, they would probably pull away, and they did.
Yeah. Those are literally, we just mentioned the 4 guys I had written down. The only other one I had was just mentioning that the touchdown run by Kevin Harris. Nice little.
Oh, yeah. We should probably mention that was a good run.
Nice run by him. And, again,
I'm going to add that to my list.
It's another one of those kind of frustrating moments of we couldn't give this guy a carry until week 16.
No, because we have to average 2.3 yards a carry because Zeke, if he made a tackle after a pick last week. I don't know if you heard that.
I did. But it's, I'd like to see more of Harris next week and going forward. Obviously, I don't think JaMychal Hasty played at all. But
yeah, they had a hard time. Beyond that, I thought they had 2 good drives early in the game. One that Ryland misses the field goal, and then the touchdown.
Yeah.
And even the touchdown, required a 4th down. But great throw, great catch by Hunter Henry. After that, they didn't really mount much offense at all. The field goal was a pick 3, Hardy.
Yes, it was.
Trademark Hardy.
Absolutely.
That's a great throw. Yeah. Great throw and catch by Zappe. Right over, I think it's Gay here, Willie Gay, number 50, and he drops it inside the safety. This is a throw I don't think they dial up with Mac Jones, But beyond that, that after that drive, I don't think they really mounted a drive the rest of the game.
All right.
You had counted up 3 and outs, Mike, at one point. It was like 4 or 5 3 and outs in a row.
Yeah, I got at least 4. Yeah, in the
second half. The only other individual thing I had was, and this is by no means a good for the game, but Rager, broke a few tackles on a 35-yard kick return. But I was frustrated because he kept taking them out of the end zone and kept not getting to the 20.
Yeah.
So I don't need a 39-yard kickoff return when you continue to set up long fields for them.
There's one right there. Maybe. Oh, there. No, that's the.
Yeah, that was the one I put on only on the good list.
That's that. Just the good list. All right, let's get to the bads. You want to go chronologically? You want to go in order of importance? What do you want to start with?
I don't know. I'm just going to start with I just thought the secondary, and I'll put that generally. We can definitely get into some specific guys.
I just wrote lots of gaps in coverage.
Yeah, the big screen pass, that was a total blown coverage. I think if I had to put a name on it, I think Kyle Duggar had a real rough day today. He looked like he was the closest guy in a lot of those big plays.
I want you guys to watch the replay here, okay? So watch. Duggar's going to come in. Now watch him. Stop. So, he didn't get tackled there? Just a poor effort. And I don't want to make too much out of it. I don't think he's a low-effort, low-energy guy. I think that's atypical of him, but it happened. It happened there on that play. And it can't. Look, he just stopped.
Yeah. We had a big 3rd down play, against, and that was on the
the only big play of the second half.
Yeah.
If you can get a 3 and out, you got a shot after you get the Kevin Harris touchdown. I know the play Mike is talking about.
Well, I was going to point out too, not to go back to back here, but sticking with the theme of the secondary, just on that last drive before the end of the first half, they had a 3rd and 3. They get a false start, backs them up 3rd and 8. You got a chance right here. 20-yard gain. Jonathan Jones gets outrun, and they go on to score that touchdown and take the lead, and it was just that kind of snowball.
I think we're going to talk about I thought it was the 3rd and 8 where it was in the fourth quarter, and
Yeah, that's the play I thought he was talking about.
the
too.
Patriots rushed 3.
Yep.
And Mahomes had
all day, and
Yeah.
it was Duggar that gave up the pass to
You're in zone
to Rice in zone.
You're
Yeah.
in zone coverage, and it's like, well, why are you only rushing 3? Why are you giving Patrick Mahomes all day to throw the ball on a 3rd and 8?
Yeah.
I just didn't understand that philosophy there. I did not agree with it.
I do not agree, sir.
I did
Jeez,
not.
These guys are in overtime. Houston, Tennessee. Oh, boy.
There's 1:49 left.
Oh, wow.
Close to a tie.
Wow. Paul, what do you got? I can go chronologically if you just want me to get one out of the way here.
Yeah, I had a lot of this has been a theme for me. I've had a lot of special teams issues again. You get a penalty on the opening kick on who else? Brendan Schooler. Wipes out a kickoff return that had you up over the 40. You had another missed field goal for Chad Ryland. You had a 38-yard punt from your rookie punter. It seems to me like it just kind of runs the gamut. Then they had a 15-yard punt return where Schooler was right in position to make the play, whiffed. Just too many. I just think too many missteps.
And maybe the one time
in
Schooler
coverage.
is wronged in the entire game. I think he got blocked in the back late in the game, and he was.
Did he have anything to say about that?
Yeah, Paul noticed
It's
that.
like, dude, just cool it. You shouldn't be drawing any attention to yourself right now because every other time it's bad, and now you want to call. No, you're not going to get a call.
Right.
You don't deserve a call.
No,
Just
that-
stop it.
Yeah.
Uncle
Just
Freddie.
stop.
Uncle Freddie.
Uncle Freddie's not there. Uncle Freddie's here.
Uncle Freddie died.
We've reached that
Yo,
portion
mother.
of the program.
I'll kill you.
Want to talk about McDermott before he got hurt? Did he get hurt?
He did get hurt.
I think he got concussed.
Head injury. I think he got a concussion.
Okay.
He did not come
Well,
back.
he had a nice holding call early on that negated the touchdown.
Second touchdown, to Henry.
Yeah.
Nice job. I mean, it was clear and
It was a hold.
obvious.
Yep, that was it.
I mean, in his defense, if he doesn't do that, it's a sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
I mean, you'd like to not be in position where you have to hold a guy. I get it. But, there were a lot of issues, I thought, with pass protection. And then they got banged up. You got no Trent Brown. McDermott goes down. You're down to Vidarian Lowe. Cole Strange looks like he suffered what looks like a pretty significant knee injury. He goes down. He was going to get sacked right there if McDermott doesn't rip 51 down. The pass protection was an issue.
It was. Fred, welcome in. Are you a fly fisherman?
I used to be.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you tie your own flies?
I tried, but I'm not good at it.
Okay, I'm going to recommend a podcast to you. It's
Does
not
it have music?
It's not Patriots Unfiltered.
Do you talk about it?
No, but they talk about a gentleman who broke into this natural history museum in the UK to steal all these rare preserved birds for their feathers that people coveted when tying flies.
Wow.
I'm going to recommend it to
Okay.
you. Okay.
Yeah, I would have been here earlier, but I was held up because
same
of a
with
certain
us.
celebrity.
So did you
Everybody
see the
keeps getting
celebrity?
held up.
No, she's still not
No,
coming out.
they keep holding
So,
traffic up.
I shouldn't say this, but somebody from food and beverage, we cut through the kitchen
Yeah.
and then out through the
Oh, it's kinda like
I
that.
didn't even cut through the. I just went.
Oh, you said screw you.
Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
I just walked.
They say, do you know who I am? Yeah.
No, Fred, they knew. Come on.
Okay.
please.
It's like
Freddie.
Goodfellas. He's
They said
walking
there's
through
that
the
guy who does
kitchen
that
there.
music show and he
Right,
talks
and
about
he talks
the songs.
about it.
Talk about it.
What's really stuck in your craw that you want to get out about the bad list? Go ahead. I mean, you're.
I mean, listen, they're overmatched. KC's a better team, but to punt in that situation,
Oh, yeah.
like everybody was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, come on.
Which
Like-
one?
Well, no, toward the end, like I think there was 8 minutes left. I think
I agree.
something like
Yes,
that.
yes.
And I was like, okay, you're gonna lose probably, but just go down fighting.
Right.
Just sling the ball. Who cares?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
He's
He's coaching like it was,
There
the
was
Patriots
something on
of
the
old
line?
where some magic would happen. Just let the kid sling it. If he gets picked off, you lose by, 20 instead of 17 or whatever the finals 10.
I hear you.
Who cares?
Right.
at this point.
You should be using this almost as glorified practice.
You know,
on some
other
of
than
these
that,
plays
it's
now.
the Patriots of old.
Yeah.
You know, they had a pretty good first half like last week. They get, the other team adjusts in the second half. What are you going to do at this point? It's it's not even worth, getting upset about.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, and Hardy made the same point that you did, Fred. It's almost like with Zappe in there, they're allowing them now to come out at least with a plan that
Yeah.
might get the other team a little off balance at first, and then it takes them a while, and then they figure it out, and they don't have any answers from there.
Yep.
Whereas Mac, I think, had sort of exhausted all of the different
He'd
things that he
short-circuit
could
the plan even.
Yeah, all the
Himself,
different
he
things
was
that
down.
you could do to sort of trick someone. He ran out of those. Zappe has a few different ones, and now I'd be curious to see if it continues to go down as
Right.
you
Yeah, I mean,
keep playing.
Zappe shows a little bit more, confidence under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was one
Yep.
play,
No doubt,
later
Fred.
in the
Quick
game,
release, gets it out.
later in the game where he got away from pressure and got rid of the ball just in time, wide open Douglas, and he overthrew him.
Yep.
Like if he hits that,
Yeah.
who knows what Douglas does with the ball
Yeah,
once
the
he
only
gets
thing
in
is
his hands.
I mean, and I know the exact play. The only
Yeah.
thing is they were down 17 at the time.
No, I know, but
but
No,
that's a pass you got to hit.
yeah, you got to make that play.
I agree,
And I think
yeah.
other teams know we can take our chances. So in the second half, they let the dogs out, both games, last week and this week, and so now all these passes where Zappe's looking confident in the pocket and stepping into the ball, he can't do that anymore. And one time he threw the bad pick where he eluded the rush and then just rushed the pass and right into traffic, gets picked off. He doesn't have the experience to know what to do under pressure, and I get that. So I'm not going to lose any sleep about the fact that he didn't look good in the second half.
Yeah.
He's Bailey Zappe for
Yeah.
crying out loud.
Did you
Yeah.
guys see that
just
Hail
saw
Mary
that.
in
That
the
was
Chicago
crazy.
Cleveland game?
How did he drop it?
I don't know how he didn't catch it. Mooney in the end
crazy.
zone.
Crazy.
Yeah, they don't have many answers offensively. I mean, this is another game. They had 200 yards of offense. I know Kansas City's got a good defense. I'm not taking anything away from the opponent. They just don't have any answers.
They don't. There was one call that I did not agree with, and I know the Patriots fans will have a lot more, but the holding call on Alex Austin, I thought was really
Was he the one that
questionable
was he
call.
the one that grabbed Rashee Rice?
Broadcast
By the
didn't
shirt?
like it
I
either.
don't know.
Yeah,
He had
it
two
was
of
on
them,
the
yeah.
it was on the play that was I think it was a fumble recovery
Yeah.
that would have gone back.
Yeah,
and
Daryl
he-
Johnson said he didn't see much
Yeah.
of a hold
He,
there.
he grabbed the shirt,
Just
and
a little bit.
Evan saw it, and he was telling Mike and I, he was like, "Yeah, the shirt came out. He grabbed the shirt. Like, generally, they're gonna call that when
Yeah.
the shirt comes out like that.
It just didn't look like it affected the play at all.
Well, because
And I
they didn't throw the ball to him.
No, I mean he didn't slow down though. It's not like he impeded his progress. He had
I
a
hear
hand
you.
on the shirt.
I hear
know?
you.
It's just
Let's
whatever.
do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, put
Let's
it-
blame the refs.
Bad job.
Bad caddying.
That's it.
But yeah, I mean, but that's another example of how much better I thought Kansas City was. Just, they did all of these things. Like even this play, right? So they get bailed out because they caught. Yeah, I mean, they definitely grabbed the shirt there. They get bailed out because of this penalty, but it cost them like a 25-yard gain because Sky Moore can't hold the ball.
Yeah.
It's just.
That's the other thing.
I get exactly what Mahomes has been dealing with all
Yeah,
year.
I
Just
mean-
watching that for 60 minutes.
I mean, we're commiserating about the Patriots, but if you're a Chiefs fan, you're lucky that you were playing the Patriots today because the drop balls that they had, oh my goodness.
Well, you saw Patrick Mahomes on the sideline toward the end of the game, and he was livid. And this time, it wasn't about the officiating. I think he was just
ball
kind
was
of
right off Tony's hands,
losing his mind. Yeah. Let's go over the injuries quickly here before we start in with the phone calls.
Yeah,
and
this was
emails here.
lengthy.
I say the biggest one was Cole Strange. He was carted off. Might have, speculating maybe an ACL, but looked like that kind of major
Ruled out
injury.
almost immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Connor McDermott out with a head injury. He was also ruled out. Third up, I would say probably Hunter Henry. That I'm not sure. That happened late in the game, so we didn't really. I don't think we got a report.
he was getting banged up
Well,
for a
yeah,
while.
that's what we said
he
at the
left the
top.
game early,
Yeah.
and then he left the game, I think, for good late.
Yeah.
And I agree with Deuce. I think he probably was out with
Yeah.
that knee injury.
I think this one's going to be significant. So we'll see. And then, we'll see on Peppers. That one happened late. He walked off under his own power. Everybody else came back in. Matthew Slater, Jonathan Jones, and Jawan Bentley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slater, I didn't see what was wrong with Slater. He was talking to the
sideline,
official about something on a sideline, and then he went down. And when you see Belichick go over, and
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looked
I
like
didn't- I didn't
he
see that.
did.
Yeah.
It looked like maybe an ankle they might have been working on the sideline, but he came back.
he did.
I'm glad. I just didn't want to see
Jawan
it.
Bentley came. Everybody came back. Jennings. Did your boy Peppers? I think that was late enough in the
Late
game.
enough.
He
I
might
don't
not have.
think
He might
came
not have
back,
come
but
back. But there were a laundry list of guys.
One of the emails here from Miles. Sorry, Deuce.
okay.
Just wants to know about what's so bad about special teams this year as opposed to last year, and I would say they were pretty bad last year too. I don't know.
It's
what
just
you're
whack-a-mole
watching.
this year. I mean,
I
and,
agree.
there's 6 special teams. Like every single week, it's something with them. Whether it's a penalty, it was a penalty and a missed field goal this week. It's always something.
But he says with regard to injury, he said, P.S. Could this be one of the most fragile Patriots teams in history? Dudes are dropping like flies. Miles, I would just say, I think there's less incentive for guys to come back and play in games and in seasons when you're not playing well. It's amazing.
It's a great point.
Oh, the healing powers of a winning football team that you want to be a
Right.
part of.
Yep.
Right.
Now you go down like, oh, my arms.
What's the point?
It's a great point.
Yeah. So that's probably part of it.
Yep.
All right, let's get the phone calls here. 855-PATS-500. We start with Mike on the Jersey Shore. Hi, Mike. What's going on?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Okay.
So you look at this game, and probably competitive first half wasn't tremendous on both sides of the ball, but competitive, and then you just have a third quarter, which just became an absolute typical this year Patriot team. Couldn't do anything offense, and then the defense, they try to hold your on, but what is going to happen next year? Who do you keep? Who do you let go? And are we going to have a coach? Are we going to still have Bill? What's your opinion? I'll hang up and listen.
Well, we had an episode of Patriots Unfiltered last week where we talked about this very subject about who would we keep, and I came up with 12 guys who I wouldn't mind having on my team.
Players, coaches, everything?
The players,
Just players.
Players.
Okay.
And most of them are on defense.
Yep.
Not surprisingly, but guys who none of them studs, but not foundation. I use that word again. But just middle-class, solid football players who I wouldn't mind having on my team. So we identified at least 12 guys.
Yeah, it's pretty sparse on offense. I mean, David Andrews is up there. He's probably getting to the end. Ramondre.
Well, you'd like to keep Douglas.
Douglas.
I mean, those are probably the three. Now you're probably looking at Cole Strange. I mean, I know some people are high on him lately, but I mean, he's probably going to be coming off an injury. It looks like.
Well,
now.
is this the same knee he was struggling with all season?
I don't know.
That
That's
he
a good
hurt
question.
in preseason?
Yeah, and to me,
Right,
and
right.
I love Freddie's, Freddie's list. We talked about that a little bit during the week. There's a different, there are guys that are on rookie contracts that aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Cole Strange is not going anywhere. He's going to be in year 3 next year.
Right.
But do you feel good about the fact that he's coming back? And I'm not sure that a lot of people would.
Yeah.
But I think Fred's point is when you're dealing with maybe 10, 12 guys that you feel really good about, that's not great. You should have a nucleus of 25 or 30 guys that you feel good about.
Should have at least 20 guys that you can say, oh yeah, I'd take him. You should be able to identify, almost 10 on each side of the ball and a few special teamers. But
Yeah, I got about 8 defenders that I put, and I was kind of thinking of it as just guys who could play on my team, like guys I would go to war with. Doesn't have to be the greatest, but they're a little better shape. And I mean, I think this is another game where you see. With a guy like Christian Gonzalez, that's what you need in this league right now. You need athletes in the secondary that can
and you need a guy like Barmore. I mean, Barmore is a beast. How many tackles did he have today? At the line of scrimmage.
Barmore is one of those guys that I feel I don't, not just because he's a rookie. I feel great about him being on my team.
Yeah, and he's not a rookie, but
but you know what I mean. On a rookie contract.
On a rookie contract.
I misspoke.
Right.
Yeah, Barmore sack, 2 QB hit, 2 tackle for loss.
Yeah, I mean, he's just constantly pushing the pocket. He's really hard to block. He rolls off his block really well when the run's coming in his direction. He's just an excellent player.
I mean, I threw it out there this week as him to be, let's get ahead of the curve on some of these classes and think about extending him. Keep critical kind of guy in the game today.
So that's a guy in the offseason I would definitely press to re-sign.
Yeah.
Extend.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't let him get to
Stop with this.
Once he gets
Right.
into his 4th year, he's now saying, in 10 weeks, I'm a free agent.
And the price goes up.
So what do I want to sign now for?
Right.
Right.
You know?
And even if he plays bad, like if he gets hurt, he plays bad, then yeah, it's
No,
you don't want him.
Get
in
him, get him signed.
Let's go to Nelson in L.A. I'm singing to Nelson here on the.
I got that.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. Hi, Nelson.
Love and affection.
Man, I'm doing fine. Man, I've been hearing your radio all the time, man. Y'all perfect podcast. I love this radio, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nelson.
So my question is, how many tight ends do we have in our team?
Three.
All right, so why is always Hunter Henry the one over there? He's already beat up, and you still got him over there, like, doing the most.
Yeah, they definitely made a concerted effort to get him the ball today, and it was almost like, oh, you guys have a tight end, we have one too, and it's.
I liked
outperform him.
Gesicki's juke on his one reception of the day. We spent 4 seconds doing
Yeah,
the. Just run downfield, dude.
Today, I mean, I thought Hunter Henry had a good game. I'm not looking to get Farrell Brown involved when Hunter Henry's hot.
Yeah.
I liked Hunter Henry's game today.
He was good. I'm not gonna say he's not good, and he was doing his project, but at the same time, he's kind of you seen him last week. He was kind of banged up, and today he's still
He was good last week too. He had 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, he did. He was perfect. And then, like, Ezekiel Elliott, is that the only running back we got?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Stevenson's out, so yeah.
That's it.
Kevin Harris had a.
Kevin Harris came in and had 4 carries for 25 yards. Nice 18-yard touchdown.
We have
But
nothing to lose. We already eliminated. Put the other guys in. Let them work. Let's see what they got.
Well, I think we kind of
They
know.
did.
And Nelson, thanks for the call. They did play, but we've also seen enough from Gesicki this year. It's like I don't know that there's a whole lot else that we're missing.
They ran the ball 15 times in the game.
Yeah.
And a third of them went to Kevin Harris.
There's really no one left on the bench who would be under the category. Well, let's see what he can do.
No.
Right, right.
We've seen them all.
They've had to utilize everybody up until
I
this
think
point.
it's like
Unfortunately, that's true.
I think it's just Jake Andrews is sitting there like, what
Yeah.
about me? Could I get
Well, David Andrews is Mr. Reliable.
right,
so.
right.
How about Michelle in South Carolina? Hi, Michelle.
Hi, guys. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a donut.
I don't know what that's in reference to.
I don't know.
No idea.
Okay.
Old time.
I don't know either, but okay.
Okay.
Did he just slip and fall?
I love donuts.
Oh,
I
okay.
do.
Yeah. Have you heard that new Dunkin' commercial?
I haven't.
Oh, it's really good. It's like an old time guy singing that song.
Well, that's what that's what I thought you were referencing, but what does it have to do with Michelle in South Carolina?
I don't know.
I know.
Yes.
You said you love donuts.
Well, I said it after you sang it.
I have ESP.
I have
You
ESPN.
made
Right.
me love them even more.
Yeah.
Michelle, I heard 2 owls in my yard this morning, and I'm not lying.
You did.
Now, they weren't barred owls in my
I did
yard.
something really bad.
They were loud. They woke me up this morning.
Were they barred owls?
I don't know. I can't
Okay.
tell. I can't tell the
let's-
difference. Was there anything relating to the game, Michelle?
Well, yes, there is.
Okay.
I agree with Fred on that throw to Douglas where
it was a bad throw.
he overthrew him.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know who was coming at Zappe at the time, but I think Zappe saw him because he was getting hit right as he
Yeah.
Well, he actually juked a guy
What?
Yeah.
before he threw the ball, but he didn't realize that he was going to actually fake the guy off of him. It was number 51, and he did.
Yeah.
If we could show that replay of that overthrow of Douglas, he gets out and he makes a little pump fake, and he kind of shakes the guy off of him and buys himself more time, and I don't think he realized he had more time.
That it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so my bad for this game is the penalties in the first half. I don't know what the score. I didn't tally it up, but I don't know how many points we would have scored off those turnovers and what the score would have been at the half. But that has to go because in the schooler, how is he still on the field? First of all,
They love him.
every
He was
week,
back for punt.
Every single week, he's killing us. Also, I wanted to see more Douglas. I'm very disappointed. He's one of our best players. He played, I think, a little bit more today, but we need to see more of him, especially with all the injuries. He needs to be on the field, and Tabai was horrible today.
Well,
Absolutely horrible.
Michelle, thanks.
I'll hang up and listen to you guys.
Okay, thank you. I don't know what the points would have been. I mean, not every one of them, but there's one on that would have been on a potential scoring play, but the
thing is, like, you don't know, like, butterfly effect, what's going to happen.
Well,
if those, but you do know, like, if all of a sudden you're out to a 2-score lead, even if it's just 10 points for the Patriots, now the defense is playing a little harder. Now, these drops by Tony, get, magnified. And
right.
You don't know. You have,
but you also have to take some of these plays, like the holds that you talked about. That was on Alex Austin.
Yeah,
that wipes out a fumble. Okay. And you could make an argument that he didn't have to call holding on that, even though he grabbed his shirt. You could say, well, it didn't really impede him, like you said, Hardy. You can't not call the Connor McDermott hold on the touchdown. The touchdown doesn't happen if they don't do that.
But it's not that I'm blaming the
I'm
refs.
I'm
just saying.
No, I'm not saying that, Fred.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, you can't play the game of, well, that took 7 off the board. Then they had this turnover. Like, some of the plays that you lost were legitimately lost. Most of them were not. Like, there's penalties that happen in the game, and you know why you commit a lot of penalties in general? Because the other team has better players than you.
Oh, that's your reach.
You're reaching, you're grabbing. Like, this touchdown does not happen if McDermott doesn't reach out and grab that guy. Like, it doesn't happen. 51 was going to sack Zappe on that play.
Yeah.
Just one little thing, little video of Zappe after his press conference. He's limping pretty good off the.
He's limping.
He got hit a little bit today,
a couple of times. By the way, Michelle mentioned Tavai.
Yeah.
After the interception, that lateral.
Yeah, that's a bad play.
I probably, and this is my bad. I keep quiet in the booth when I'm watching the game. Bob and Zoe are doing a call. I yelled way too loud. What are you doing? Wow. Because I was.
Yeah.
Especially like where you are in the field. Like, what's he going to do with it, even if he catches
What
it?
are you doing? What are you doing?
But you know what?
Much.
They're probably thinking, well, we can't score.
Right.
I got to do something.
I know.
No,
but that's not
I
good.
mean,
No, it was a
that's not
terrible. It was a
coached up like that.
It was a terrible play, but they actually work on it in practice. I don't know if you know. They practice a lot. And Tavai played quarterback in high school.
That's right.
So it was very little risk on that. We had a guy that was
tying it all together.
in the pregame show, Freddie, with the Kelsey play to Tony last week that got overturned with the penalty.
Yeah.
Trying to say, well, Kelsey was a quarterback in high school, and they work on that and practice a lot. There's really no risk.
Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't them taking a chance.
They weren't being reckless with the ball. There was no risk.
That was a play. I'm like, would you stop it? Stop it.
So I agree with you guys. That was a very unnecessary risk by Tavai, and they're probably fortunate they didn't get called for a penalty for batting the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
Because Bryant ran to the sideline and intentionally knocked it out of bounds instead of trying to recover it, which is supposed to be a penalty.
John in D.C. on this episode of the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings. Hi, John.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Just thoughts on the, one of the things that keeps me sort of like up at night as a Patriots fan going into next season is, particularly on both sides of the ball, identifying talent, scouting talent, seems, whether it's free agency or draft, seems to be the Achilles heel of this team. And I keep on looking at it, and I just want to use the secondary as a perfect example. So I always compare, in recent years, the 2018 secondary, the 11 guys in the secondary, to what we have now, right? And so I look at this, and I'm saying, okay, well, even if they move on from Kyle Duggar, and even if you think Martin Mabu is his replacement, right, he and Peppers can be your better upgrade from Melifonwu/Chung. You've got Miles Bryant, I think, can be Duron Harmon's second free safety. I think that's actually what he's the best at, is sort of just see ball, go to ball, knock it down, or intercept it off a tipped ball kind of thing. But I look at that and I'm saying, well, you still need a Devin McCourty. You still need depth at the corners, particularly if you're moving Bryant to safety. And I look at this and I'm like, even if you get Marcus Jones, even if you get a L'Jarius Sneed in free agency, even if Christian Gonzalez comes back, you're still missing these pieces, and you compare it to that 18 team. That's the Jason McCourty role. That's the Eric Rowe role. who's the primary slot corner. Is
But
Jonathan
they
Jones
found like
coming
that
back
year.
there?
They found Eric Rowe.
I was going to say
they can find an Eric Rowe.
Yeah,
you know.
I'd like to find like number 2 corner.
Yeah.
To go with Christian
You
Gonzalez.
can get a Jason, McCourty. You can get those guys.
Their depth in the secondary. Mike and I have talked about this since the draft and how we were like seemingly the only ones that weren't stunned that they took a corner in the first round. Their depth at corner is non-existent.
No, that's, I mean,
to have to go out and sign and trade for J.C. Jackson. Just because you lose one corner, you go out and trade for J.C. Jackson, and now
Who's
you can't.
that?
Now, I mean, I have no idea. I'm curious. I wonder if some of our listeners might know if Bill what Bill had to say about that.
I couldn't find him on the sideline either.
No, we couldn't find him anywhere.
No. Hey, John, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
I got to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I think secondary is down on my list of real concerns. I mean, I think you've got some athletes coming back. If you have Jonathan Jones and you got Christian Gonzalez and you got Peppers, that's a good place to start from. I think they can fill in around it. For me, it's about pass rush in this league, and I think it was, on display today. You definitely need a guy like Gonzalez, no question. But
I agree about the pass rush.
Start.
Secondary is high on my list of concerns. I don't think they cover well.
Let me bring up just a little something here, off topic, but it relates to a former member of the Patriots secondary, Jack Jones, who had a big play for the Raiders the other night.
Got that 63rd point.
Please.
Yeah, he did like in garbage time.
Did you watch the Minnesota game?
Okay. But I'm saying there was a member of the current Patriots team who then took to social media to say, "See, we knew."
Oh, yeah, the Mills thing.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
What?
No, not great.
So is it just now the open shots?
Season on Bill Belichick?
Open season on Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just want to make
I
sure.
won't stand for it.
Yeah.
I won't allow it.
No, but it's it kind of goes back to what Paul said, though, that you already kind of knew going into the season that Jack Jones, you didn't know exactly what you had there. He had already been suspended by the team once, and then, the offseason stuff happened. So even I think on paper, if you might have looked at it before the season and you thought, well, Marcus Jones, Jack Jones, Jonathan Jones, all the Joneses with Christian Gonzalez, it would be okay. But, I mean, these guys are all that. He went off. Marcus Jones got hurt. Right. Gonzalez got hurt. I mean, this is a shell. You can't judge off of this team like Alex Austin.
The untold thing about the Joneses is Jack Jones is extremely inconsistent and was never going to be the answer.
I think Jack Jones is a dink on and off the field.
Right.
I really don't
Marcus
think much
Jones
of his game.
has never shown the ability to play defense. He's a great punt returner.
Yeah.
But everybody includes him. Well, they're down there number 1 and number 3 corner. No, they're not. They're down like their 5th corner because Marcus Jones never exhibited the ability to play defense. Maybe he will someday, but he hadn't in his year plus whatever many games, 2 games that he played. No. So, they need depth. I love Gonzalez. I think he's going to be a good player. They need more. Yeah. And how many more years are you going to rely on Jonathan Jones?
I just think it's telling that you've got players now speaking outwardly about a player the caliber of Jack Jones. We're not talking about Chandler Jones. We're not talking about Tom Brady. It's really? You're gonna spout off now about Jack Jones because, to your point, he made a big play in garbage time in a garbage football game.
He jumped a screen while up 60.
Yeah,
but that's Jack Jones.
No, that's him,
he jumps routes, and every once in a while he's going to make an eye-popping play like that.
I think they're only up about 50.
Yeah, that put him up 60. I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay. John in South
Beach.
As
usual, Paul's exaggerating.
Well, I've been using your line, John, and I've been giving you credit playing chess with checkers pieces. I think it's outstanding. So thank you for that. What's going on?
Howdy, everyone. I had something I wanted to talk about, but I'm just going to bring up the Jack Jones pick thing. That right when I saw it, and Paul, your reaction disgust was my reaction too, because I was like, okay, here we go.
And my reaction of disgust has nothing really to do with the play as much as it is.
That's him.
There are some people, and I don't think a lot. I think most people are like John. They took it for what it was. Yeah. But the people that are like, we just give these guys away.
Right,
we give up on these guys. Please.
The play was so weird.
6 strikes.
He gets 10 yards into the backfield untouched, and he's so untouched. He has to reach behind him to pick off that screen.
Because you're not supposed to do that.
It's just so him. He'll do that, but in a tie game, when you got to have it, and he's got to cover a guy, and he gets beat over the top, that's him.
But that's not what you called about, John. What did you call about?
That is not what I called about. Thank you. I don't want to minimize Zappe's play in the first half because I love the play action pass into the end zone, and I thought he played okay, but I ultimately think his luck kind of ran out in the second half because there's a bunch of throws.
Couldn't agree more.
Should have got batted down at the line.
Oh, yeah.
He should have got an additional pick.
He had a couple of completions that were deflected at the line. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right, John.
Yep.
And most of
Yeah,
the touchdown pass aside, most of it was little short dump offs.
Yeah.
Like it was a really high completion percentage for no yards.
But again, the bar has been moved, and those were passes that Mac Jones had trouble completing. I mean, a lot of the time, he was throwing to the wrong
he certainly
side
wouldn't.
of a
He certainly wouldn't have
receiver on
made
a
that
screen.
touchdown throw. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
The touchdown throw to Hunter Henry,
That
I
was
don't
a
think
great throw.
I don't think Mac had a prayer of making.
No.
No. That was a great throw.
John, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
And he might have gotten sacked 4 or 5 more times than Zappe did today.
I don't think Bill's gone yet, just FYI, because we're still waiting for some of that.
Oh, great. We have an email here from Brandon who wants to know, is the play calling the subtle way the tank is happening?
Yes, that was a point brought up in the press box by more than one.
Wow.
So Freddie, you were a little upset that they didn't go for a 4th down. I think there was it was like a 4th and 2 or 3
Yep.
from around midfield down 17.
Yep.
They punted. I think that's probably the one you're talking about.
Yep.
And I'll even say this. So, 2 things. At the end of the first half, there's inside the 2-minute warning, and the Chiefs had 1st and goal. Patriots should have been calling timeout after every play. The clock was running. There were short throws that weren't getting into the end zone, and the Chiefs were able to let the clock run. Finally, the Patriots called timeout with about 50 seconds left. I think it was a defensive timeout.
Just before the 3rd down.
Because there was only about 11 seconds on the play clock at the time. It wasn't to stop the clock.
Yeah.
It was before the 2nd down play.
Second now? Yeah.
But I think it was because they didn't like what they saw on defense. And it was a timeout to help them on defense. So I thought that was an opportunity they should have called timeout after each play. And then maybe you have a minute 20. Even if the Chiefs score a touchdown, you have like a minute 20. Let's see if we can go and get something.
Yeah.
Instead there was 35 seconds. So they let the clock run out at the end of the first half. And then in the second half, I know the game is over. Right? There's 2 minutes left, and it was 2:35, I think, when the Patriots turned it over on downs at their own 7-6. He had a timeout and the 2-minute warning. So the Chiefs are just going to run the ball into the line like they did on 1st down. And Edwards-Helaire got a couple of yards. Now it's 2nd down. Bill doesn't call timeout. He lets the clock run all the way down to the 2-minute warning.
That one I didn't care about.
No, I know the game is over. I think he did it for the makeup.
Yes.
Little cold cream with the makeup. Like, I don't want to lose by 17. I don't want my son to give up 30 points. Because if he calls timeout, Kansas City's required to now run plays. And they're going to score because they moved the ball every time they had the ball today.
Right.
So they were going to score there if they tried to score. And he didn't want to give up another touchdown.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fred, did you use like a 4-count rhythm when you were fly fishing like they talk about in the movie A River Runs Through It?
I didn't necessarily use a 4-count rhythm. It's just a feel, you wait for the line to play itself out and then come forward. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Were you an Orvis guy? Did you like Orvis?
Orvis, a lot of people find their stuff overrated. Good stuff,
Yeah.
but overpriced. But, the thing about fly fishing is people think that, the way to catch it is, you have the dry flies and the fish rises to get it.
Sure.
When you're fly fishing, most fish are caught underneath the water.
Oh.
With weighted flies.
Okay.
That's the Freddest
if you really know
comment
what
ever.
you're doing.
Okay. Well, I would like to pepper in a fly fishing question periodically throughout this episode.
You find like a seam in the current and you just work the seam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is this something that you would talk about after you would go?
Oh,
fly
you talk
fishing?
about it a lot.
Okay, I figured.
Yeah. But you don't play music while you're doing it.
No, scares the fish. Yeah. They hate that. Kakar in Jacksonville, I believe we've spoken with him before. I've definitely read emails from him. Sounds familiar. Yeah. He's asking about draft order. He said that with the Panthers winning today.
Yeah, I saw. They're still two.
They're still last.
They need one more to be tied with the Patriots. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
He
Not
wasn't-
yet.
But if they were,
There's 3 weeks left.
If they were to end up with 3 wins, and the Patriots were to end up with 3 wins,
I don't know who the tiebreaker.
So Bill asked about J.C. Jackson. He wasn't available. Just leave it at that.
Okay, so
No,
should he?
no, no.
He should
Wasn't
not.
available.
He should not be a member of the Patriots on Monday, right?
Right.
But it's a good
Adios.
thing we had to lose a quarterback because we didn't have any roster room.
right? Keep J.C. Jackson on the roster. Smart. Okay. All right. Well, the long or short answer to your question, Kakar, is we don't know who would have the tiebreaker in that.
My God.
What's that, Paul? A little red zone?
No, there's like a meme of Patrick Mahomes kissing a referee and like Matthew Judon. I see no lies. Like this is what 3-11 teams do. This is what 3-11 teams do.
It was
They just
Judon
get
too.
completely-
It was Judon who tweeted about Jack Jones, right?
Was it? I don't know.
I think it was Judon.
Judon.
I don't-
Judon,
I know Jalen Mills did. I don't get it. How do you watch what the Chiefs did last week, make fun of them all week, and then I'm not even sure what call you're that upset about from this, and now you're going to do the same thing and just cry about the refs after this?
Right.
I don't get it.
Right. No.
Neil in the UK. Hey guys, keep up the great work. Wanted to give a possibility and see what you all think. Go after Brian Callahan, OC of the Bengals. If T. Higgins isn't tagged, Bengals have cap issues. Throw money at him. If we are pick number 2 in the draft, take Harrison Jr. and trade a day 3 pick for Jake Browning and see what he can do for 17 games.
Oh, there you go.
I'll tell you, if I had to watch Jake Browning play every game after I watched a full game of him yesterday, I think I would have a heart attack.
If we are pick 3,
That guy loves to throw punts.
If we are pick 3, take Drake May as the best prospect on the board. I know Paul isn't a fan.
Pick 3?
Yeah.
He ain't going to be available at 3.
I don't think so. I don't know. There's all this talk now about what Chicago is going to do.
And I like Drake May,
Like
by
all
the
of a
way.
sudden Chicago isn't going to take a quarterback.
I just like Caleb Williams better than Drake May. I like Drake May.
Okay. All right.
He's a good player.
All right.
But there is a chance that Marvin Harrison gets inserted in between quarterbacks, right?
Sure.
I can't really see a scenario that happens.
You don't
but
think the Bears might say, you know what, Justin Fields is okay?
Right.
if they do that, they'll trade the pick. They'd be stupid not to.
Okay, well, you don't think they take Marvin Harrison to pair with him?
No. I think they would try to move down and take Marvin Harrison and add picks.
Okay.
That's all. Someone's going to want that quarterback.
Yeah,
Right.
but they have to be really close to the top already. You know, because
Well,
you don't want to miss out on
Yeah,
him.
in
They're first and
general,
fifth
you're
right
not.
now.
In general, you're not going to go from like 18 to 1.
Yeah.
No.
You got to be in the top 10, top 7.
Yeah, right now it goes Chicago, New England, Arizona, Washington, Chicago.
Yeah. So like if Arizona what if Arizona decides they want the quarterback? It's Kyler Murray running with his hips going sideways. He runs like Cam Newton used to throw, with his hips parallel to the line of scrimmage.
It's painful.
He's so fast, though.
David in Atlanta. Hello, David.
Yeah, there's a lot of draft stuff that's going to be
guys.
fun to unfold.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I love this show. I've been listening to you guys for many, many, many years. The last time I called in was about 4 years ago after the draft.
Thank you.
I remember talking with Paul about Ronnie Perkins.
Ooh.
He's
But
available.
anyways,
Ronnie
the reason I
Perkins.
called
Back
in
on
is
the
that I wanted to weigh in on the Bills drama. I thought Darryl Johnson had some really excellent commentary today during the broadcast. He really had some really good original things to say, very honest and frank about Belichick, marrying himself to old school philosophies, not willing to update himself.
Oh.
And I just want to say, I've always been a huge Bill fan, like most Pats fans, but I'll tell you, when I went out on Bill was about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. He was asked during a press conference about Marty Mapu and when we were going to see more of him on the field. And it comes to mind today because of course he made a play today for like the first time all year.
And he was playing linebacker,
Yeah.
maybe for the
Yeah,
first
he played
time all year.
linebacker, which was encouraging.
Yeah, I liked
was
that.
encouraging. Yeah, no, I agree with you. But the thing that really ticked me off about what Bill said when he was asked the question, and it just speaks to his personnel problems, is that he was asked why he wasn't playing more, and Bill said point blank, well, we have a lot of depth at that position.
Right.
And he just basically can't see the field. And I'm thinking to myself, when he says that, then why the hell did you pick him at the third pick?
Yeah, I think it's a fair
We
criticism.
have all these needs. We had a fantastic tight end draft this past year. We had all these needs at receiver, all these needs on the line, offensive tackles, whatever. And because he falls in love with this one player, he drafts a guy that's going to sit on the bench all year when they need playmakers.
Right.
And I thought to myself, that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with this guy, with the draft, is he takes people that he falls in love with, that he sees, this is the kind of guy I can work with, right? Well, great. So you've worked with him for 4 months, He's played about 15% of the snaps, and that might be generous. Why are we picking a guy like that in the top 50 when we have all these glaring needs on the roster? And the idea of him being able to be in charge of the draft at some level going forward is like my greatest nightmare. Like for Bill to be able, like, let's say, and for me personally, there's two players that I'm bullish on in this draft. I personally think Jaden Daniels is QB1. I love Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be an absolute stud. Not because he can run, but because of his pocket presence. His pocket presence is elite. He really feels the rush.
Wait, get to the other player, David.
Okay, the other player, sorry, I'm taking too long. The other player I'm really high on is Malachi Corley from Western Kentucky. This kid is Deebo Samuel Part 2.
Yep.
Okay.
And we need somebody like that. We need guys that can make plays in space. That's
all
all I got, guys.
All right, thanks, David.
Thanks, David.
I do the Mapu ran on Keon White, too.
Yeah. Why did they draft him?
I mean, I was trying to look. I'm like, what did he do? He played a lot today. He didn't record a stat. I mean, I don't even see him on
He's
here.
a high motor guy. I'll say that.
Do we like Jaden Daniels?
I love Jaden Daniels, but I don't know about QB1.
He looks small.
Skinny.
Still, I know
He's tall, but he's skinny.
I know he's put weight on. He still looks skinny, and some of the runs. And David said, I don't want him for his runs, but in what I've seen from him, I'm like, oh yeah, he's got some great plays in the middle, interior defense that is non-existent. I'm like, well, yeah, I could go into the end zone too.
His
with
other point,
a couple of good blocks.
His other point is so true. Belichick has a lot of reasons why he picks certain players, and sometimes being a really good football player isn't the top one.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I like his, I'm friends with the head coach, or his head coach was good to my son when he was at the school, or, no, but there's a lot of things that he does to help another coach, or,
And I think philosophically, I couldn't agree more, Freddie. And I think philosophically, he doesn't believe in rookies having significant roles, like right away.
Yeah.
Like, I think he drafts a lot of guys with the idea of, well, we have depth there, we can work him in slow. Because I think Mike is 1,000% right when you talk about those safeties. So you have a guy like Adrian Phillips who hasn't really played all year, and Jalen Mills who hasn't really played all year. And you draft a guy at that spot? Like, there's just not enough snaps to go around.
Right, and just where they've been, I've done plenty of rants on how bad the drafts have been, but, this second-round pick, if Keon White turned out to be a real impact player, okay, but he's not doing anything. He's not showing any progress. It's right now, both those picks, and I said this to Evan this week, I was like, look, Gonzalez fell into their lap, but these last three drafts are really looking pretty poor, and that's a huge part of why they are where they are.
Yeah, real quick, Mike Giardi, about 10 minutes ago, J.C. Jackson was in the locker room pregame. No one seems to know what happened to him thereafter.
Wow.
It's a bizarre situation.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to
this week's drama.
I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it when we hear from Bill later. But for now, we're just going to take a brief break. I want to say whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 and over. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
$1 million? For picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Studies show that up to 94% of female C-level executives played sports. That's why Bridgestone is partnering with professional football teams across the country to sponsor girls' flag football leagues, bringing new opportunities to those that need it most. Because learning to catch and dodge matters. But learning to lead on the field so you can lead in any field, that's what really matters.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
$1 million? For picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Studies show that up to 94% of female C-level executives played sports. That's why Bridgestone is partnering with professional football teams across the country to sponsor girls' flag football leagues, bringing new opportunities to those that need it most. Because learning to catch and dodge matters. But learning to lead on the field so you can lead in any field, that's what really matters.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
That's a good point, though, Paul, about Pittsburgh going for it on a couple of those fourth downs. And they probably would have been forced into a few more punts had they been in longer yardage or Judon was playing. And
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Or Gonzalez.
You made me laugh twice on that. Like, I laughed just the way I did when you did it live.
It sounded like it was echo.
Yeah. Thank you for being part of this Patriots postgame show. This episode presented by DraftKings. We're going to hear from the head coach. We're going to hear from Bailey Zappe. We're going to hear from William in Philadelphia, who is on right now at 855-PATS-500. Hi, William.
Hey, Robert. How you doing?
I'm well.
Robert.
Okay. Is Fred there?
Yes,
I'm
here.
Okay. Hey, Fred. So 2 questions, and then I'm out your way. Well, I'll say to Paul, T. Higgins, I've just seen him as far as yesterday. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, he could be the number 1. That catch was crazy. When you broke me down to the stats and whatnot, as far as what he, how many touchdowns.
He's a good player.
And whatnot, I agree with you.
He's a good player, and he didn't need Jamar Chase to be a good player.
Absolutely. And to you, Fred, let me say this, here comes the passionate part of me coming out, so please forgive me, gentlemen. Fred, I understand what you said about Bailey Zappe as far as fans shouldn't be mad because it's Bailey Zappe, for crying out loud. I agree with you 100%. But you know what I'm pissed off more about than anything is just that my team, forgive me, and I don't know if y'all feel this way, y'all might not say it, but forgive me, please. This team ain't shit.
Whoa.
I'm so
Whoa.
pissed. I'm pissed. I really am. Bill, me and Eldridge have been saying this for years, Robert. We've been telling your coworkers they need dynamic players. 4 seasons of this. 4 gentlemen. How much more can we take? He's toned down. Look, matter of fact, I wanted to say, let me leave this part. Let me just leave it. I just need her to get out your way.
Okay.
Here's what you know right off the bat that Bill cares more about defense than offense. Who was that went down? Was it Christian Baltimore that went down? And he had to make sure, he came on the field and make sure he was all right? But when Hunter Henry hurt his leg or whatnot, when that corner hit his leg, I didn't see Bill get out there on that field.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think he cares about the well-being of the players.
Okay. All right. Thank you, William.
He reminded me of Kanye right there. I'm going to let you finish.
But he has paid more attention, it would seem, to the defense.
With his draft picks, without question.
Yeah.
But I think he cares about the well-being of all the players. Can we agree with that?
Yeah, but I mean, Slater, who ended up being okay, he was there pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. He was sobbing.
It was also right on the sideline.
I know that Matthew Slater is every year Mr. Good Guy. He wins the award every year. But I get a little frustrated that he doesn't even try to be a better receiver over the years. He just gave up playing a position.
Right.
And during practice, he doesn't even practice with the team. He goes off by himself and works on his his gunner skills or his vice skills.
Same thing Schooler does.
I don't know. Slater has elite speed. You can't practice being a receiver a little bit.
I don't know. I would echo you in saying I have some frustration with Belichick that he has these guys and that's all he wants out of them.
I know.
He doesn't
he
look
lets
to
it happen.
He doesn't look to develop players instead of getting a promising young cornerback who's not ready to play defense yet to do those things. He just says, no, I want a guy who just does this.
Right.
And that's his preference. That's frustrating to me.
But I think even Chris Board practices linebacker from time to time.
Right.
You know?
But he's played some linebacker.
Well, I know.
Matthew Slater is not a wide receiver. He's never been a wide receiver.
But I think Fred's point is, could he have been, especially in times of great need,
Yeah,
filled in?
I personally don't think so.
Okay, well, I tend to side with Fred on this one. I would rather see somebody exhaust all efforts in order to truly help the team in every way they can, as opposed to
most guys want to play a position.
I'm sure they probably.
That's the goal. Is you play special teams to earn yourself a spot at a position.
One more thought just to Fred. I asked in the pregame show, just general question: why did the offense get worse this year? Just why did that happen? And
he got very metaphysical in the pregame.
And another thing, I just looking back through the lens of not sure what they have with Mac, needing to pull Mac up and get him to where they need him to be. It just really seems to me like they wanted to surround him with veterans. They did not seem to feel comfortable trying to make a high round rookie draft pick part of the equation when Mac Jones are trying. I think the way that they saw getting Mac to acceptable levels of play was by doing veterans and surrounding him with veterans. And I think just that I'm looking back at everything a little bit different right now of just through that lens of how do we get Mac to play where he needed to be. I think that's maybe a part of why they stayed away from those guys in the draft.
This kind of goes back to like reasons why Bill picks things. He has other reasons other than he's a good football player, and I think Mac did something last year that got Mac in the doghouse. And Bill had no more. He had enough of Mac Jones, at least for last year, and I think that ruined him. And they went into this year, kind of icy. And over time, maybe it got a little better, but then Mac was, started turning the ball over, and then that was it. So I think, there should have been a little bit more nurturing of this guy, but I'm talking about last year, not this year. Not this year.
I just think, I think in retrospect they should have probably gotten another veteran quarterback that maybe one of these guys.
At the end of the day, he's probably not that good, and probably wouldn't have been that good.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's one of our famous. A lot of things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Like he didn't get the support that he probably needed and deserved, but he also was probably not all that good.
Right. I mean, I just keep going back to the, Mac can play in this league. I think that says everything to me. That, he could play in this league, but we have to get him there. He's not going to single-handedly be able to, do this on his own without,
Tim in Cleveland says, happy holidays to all of you. I think the Patriots' third and long defense needs some accountability. Guys are wide open. Are you pressuring or covering? They seem to do neither. And again, I am talking third and long. And I say this with the reality that the offense is uncreative and predictable. But throughout the entire season, third and long defense has been bad. Flip the field. Thanks and happy holidays again.
I want to go back to Mac Jones a little bit.
Sure.
And as it relates to Zappe, over the weekend, Mike Reese has his little Sunday morning column. 10 things to think about.
Yeah.
And one of them, somebody at the Patriots went out of their way to just, gush over Zappe, how he got the award for Player of the Week, and the guys feel energized with him. And somebody gave Mike Reese that, because we don't hear about these weekly awards every week. Otherwise, he'd be publishing it. But this week, somebody made it a point to tell Mike Reese, okay, who is that?
Right.
So the point wanted to be made out of the locker room that Zappe he's a guy that players are rallying around, and Mac isn't.
No.
And for whatever reason, they wanted to. It was very important for them to do that, and I have some conspiracy theories about why that might be.
Well, Paul pointed out Tom Brady didn't even get Patriot of the Week.
Yeah. Well, I of course went all snark, as you know I am wont to do. That's want with an O. And I said, do you remember the Seth Wickersham story, the original Palace Q?
Yeah.
Right?
From your station.
Correct, from my station. And one of the things was that Brady had started to feel unappreciated, remember?
Yep.
And he hadn't even won the Player of the Week in like
Patriot
years. The Patriots Patriot of the Week for years. And, those like Dale Arnold were very upset with that. There's no such thing as Patriots player of the and
Right.
it was like blasphemous that we're even talking about this. I don't think Tom Brady cares about it. And then, I don't know, like 8 years later, we're finding out that Bailey Zappe has won over the locker room and was one of the Patriots players of the week, Patriot of the week, along with Mike's boy, Peppers, and a couple others, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like, instead of just automatically assuming everything is, that's negative about your team is wrong, you have to sort of put a microscope on it and try to figure out, why is J.C. Jackson nowhere to be found?
Right.
What? Like,
why is he unavailable?
Like, I understand. I understand that J.C. Jackson
What does that
is
mean? He was
responsible.
in the bathroom?
But I understand that he's responsible for himself.
I'm not
and,
available.
Is it Mike? Help me out. The corner that started. Is it
Alex Austin?
Alex Austin.
Yeah.
He has told the media he found out that he was starting when the game started.
Yeah.
Like,
Surprise.
is this any way to run a team? Like, are these things? These are things that happen to the Jets.
Everybody's got to be ready.
Well, something happened with J.C.
No,
Jackson.
I know, and
Yeah.
I'm not blaming Bill for the thing with
Yeah.
J.C. Jackson. I'm saying this is the kind of
I know
mismanagement that the Jets are known for.
Yeah, yeah.
And why is this a penalty?
Well,
this is unbelievable.
Lack of discipline.
He didn't slide.
J.C. Jackson did something that earned him a benching, and not even a benching. Don't even get on the sideline.
I'm not sure. Like, let's see. Oh, that's not a slide. That's a terrible call.
Anyway, people
Red
don't.
zone call.
They do. They watch in red zone too.
I don't think they are.
Although maybe
It's a
helmet
head-to-head,
helmet to
helmet-to-helmet.
helmet. And upon the replay, maybe you got called for
God.
helmet to helmet. But
I'm gonna
he
talk
did
to-
not slide and give himself up.
I'm going to talk to Ray and Dedham, who is focused solely on this show.
Yeah,
Okay.
and my problem with the call, by the way, Fred, is if that's a running back, they're not calling that. But it was a helmet to helmet.
He's still doing it.
You can throw your arms up, Hardy. I
He's
don't
still
blame
doing
you.
it. He's
I don't
still
blame
doing
you.
it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ray. Hello, Ray.
Everybody
Hey guys,
loves.
great show as
a donut.
always. Thanks for having me. So my point is, after watching the game today, Bailey Zappe, he looked okay in the first half, but in the second half he just got overrun.
Yeah.
With the pass rush.
Yeah. They
Because
unleashed
he
the
has
dogs.
He has no playmakers around him. He has no offensive line.
No.
Because they're all hurt.
Yeah.
So my theory is that you have to take the best player in the draft, which is Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, and then you don't take one of these college quarterbacks that's going to come in there with inexperience. You have to build up the offensive line. So you take the first pick Harrison, and then you take the second pick offensive line. And then I know Paul's going to probably kill over and die over there, but I'd say sign Baker Mayfield just as a veteran presence for a couple of years as a stopgap, and then get the whole process moving like the Lions did.
So a
the
stopgap
Lions
to
are
what?
on a 3-year build, and they're doing great now.
But a stopgap to what? Like, Jared Goff has played well. If you think Baker Mayfield can play that well, then sign me up. I'm in. I don't.
That's great.
I don't think he's capable of playing that well. But my point is there's a lot of teams that have taken, like the Cleveland Browns took Joe Thomas, and he's a Hall of Fame player. But the entirety of his career, he never had a quarterback that could play. So the whole idea of build the team first, because it's easier that way, is so warped. It's so much harder to do it that way because you have to hit on about 8 or 10 picks to have a team like San Francisco. Like, it's so much harder to do it that way. All you have to do is hit on one, and he lifts everybody with him. If you hit on it, it's not easy either way.
As McCaffrey scores another touchdown.
Yeah, it's not easy either way. But this team is loaded, Fred.
I know.
Right?
They're fun to watch.
They're almost all homegrown draft picks. McCaffrey is one of the few that isn't.
Right.
Nick Bosa,
Debo
Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, the Greenlaw, the other linebacker, Fred Warner. These are all draft picks. Like, miss on 2 of those, and you're not the Niners.
Right.
Because Purdy's probably not good enough to lift everybody around him.
And what was Warner? Like, Warner's like a 3rd or 4th rounder.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
those are the guys.
but it's really hard to do it that way. Is my only point.
No,
All right, so Paul, who's better? Is Baker Mayfield better than Mac Jones and Bailey Zappe?
Yes, but he's not going to take you to the promised
I would
land.
say yes.
He makes too many
I'm
mistakes.
looking for that right now. I'm looking for a stopgap.
But a stopgap
for the
to
next
what?
Well, until you get the guy.
Okay, so do you think he's going to win some games?
Well, he looked pretty good.
No. If you think he's going to win some games, then I would say, how do you get the quarterback?
Yeah, that's the question, Ray. And thank you for the call. But stopgap to what? All right, 7, 8, 9 win season. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you get a quarterback then?
Yeah.
You just made it that much more difficult for
And I
you.
agree 1,000% with Ray. I like Baker Mayfield, and you had the list of free agents,
we did
Hardy,
it
in
earlier.
the pre. That was one of the two guys I said,
sure.
Well,
Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield were the only two that I would say, if I don't have a quarterback, sure.
I'm looking at the Cowboys right now. Did they ever have a season that was a tank or a really bad?
Well, a tank?
Yeah.
No. Dak Prescott broke his ankle, and they won 3 games.
No, but I mean, like, how did they get Dak Prescott?
Well, the 4th round.
Yeah. So it can be done.
Well, I think you're
I
always
know it
taking a
can be
hit for
done.
those guys.
Don't get me on that rant.
But this is a potential golden ticket year, though, where you're gonna have a top 3 pick to like ignore the quarterback position. I don't see it. I mean, I people call with this Marvin Harrison thing. I think I've seen too many NFL teams over the year where they have a great wide receiver, they never do anything. Like, if you have a chance to get one of these top 2 quarterbacks, I think you got to take it this year.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, if you had anything,
Garrett Wilson's going to be the how much better is Marvin Harrison than Garrett Wilson?
And then by the time Marvin Harrison's in year 3, playing with Baker Mayfield and whoever else, what's his game like? Like, how is he feeling when he gets to year 3 and we're like, oh, he's been kind of a disappointment?
That's a great one, Fred. Garrett Wilson. Great example of that.
It's only a matter of time before
he's going to be year 3 next year.
You can take the guy and you can knock it out of the park. You were absolutely right, Calvin Johnson with the Lions, and then you needed to get Matthew Stafford to have any modicum of success. With him.
Mark says, loving FFU, fly fishing unfiltered.
Yeah. FFU, I like that. That's good. That could stick.
He said if Paul could do a disco unfiltered and Deuce could do a Hollywood unfiltered, then I would hit PU bingo.
It's funny. I had a little foray into disco during the game today, whereas I told Mike there was a little like 70s like techno vibe going on. It was like Giorgio Moroder, like a little Donna Summer. And of course, Evan looked at me and was like, Giorgio what? I was like, it was like Donna Summer's producer.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I know Donna Summer. Actually, I think he said, I know Donna Summers.
Yeah, ruined it.
I was like, yeah.
Ruined it. Let's hear from the head coach. Want to do that?
Sure.
Bill Belichick, and a big thank you to our partner Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider and laptop of the NFL and the New England Patriots. Provides players and coaches with the tools to succeed both on and off the field. Check out the powerful Surface Pro 9, combining the power of a laptop with the flexibility of a tablet at surface.com. Here's the head coach.
But it's competitive. They're a good football team. They're well coached. Obviously, got a lot of good players. So you can't give them any extra opportunities.
Bill, question: 4th and 2, you would like to go for it, and Bailey Zappe throws that touchdown pass to Hunter Henry. What went into that decision to go for it on 4th down, and what was the feeling on the sideline after the payoff of the touchdown?
We felt that was the right thing to do at that point in time. I think we had a good play. Bailey made a good throw. Hunter, made a good catch. So, just felt like we had a good play.
Bill, along those same lines, you went for it early in the game, 4th and 2, and got the touchdown. Later in the game, early 4th quarter, was 4th and 3, kind of near midfield. You decided to punt. What went into that decision? Any thought to go for it there?
Yeah, before we got the interception.
Yeah, it was like, I think you're down by 17. It was 4th and 3.
Yeah, and then we got the interception. Right. Felt like, at that point we'd lost 3 starters. Worried about the pass protection. Worried about just what be able to execute in that situation. Felt like we were playing good defense and get the ball back on a turnover, or, 3 and out, get the ball in better field position.
Bill, last 3 minutes, you had called the timeouts to get the ball back. You're working from your own end zone. Seemed to huddle, substitute a lot. One of the offensive players in the locker room lamented the tempo that ran the clock down to 2 minutes. Were you okay with the tempo there, down 10 with a couple minutes left?
We ended up in a check play there, and we could have gone quicker.
Right on your right. Bill, we saw you come out and check on Cole Strange when he went down. Just how tough was it to lose him, and do you have any update on him?
Yeah, it was tough to lose him. It was tough to lose Connor. It was tough to lose Hunter. So, kind of at the end there, we were not, I would say, didn't feel like we were able to, do probably what we should have done in that situation. At the end of the game, I'm talking about.
Hey, Bill. How would you assess Bailey's performance today?
Yeah, I'll take a look at it on film. Can't watch everybody out there.
Along those lines, do you have any update on Hunter Henry, and are you expecting to possibly lose him for a long time?
Don't have any update. Game was just over.
Bill, when Ben was asking about a fourth down decision, I think you thought it was fourth down from your own 33. There was another series previous to that. It was the first set of plays you guys had in the fourth quarter. Same decision making for you in terms of the injuries and not wanting to go for it. There's 4th and 3 is at your own 42.
Yeah, it's not a question of not wanting to go for it. It's a question of doing what you feel like is best at that point in time.
Was that related to the injuries, though, like you mentioned for the previous situation?
There's a lot of things that go into a decision. It's not one thing.
Brian in the back. Take a couple final questions.
Hi, Bill. In a response to Dan's question, the first couple things you mentioned were related to the officiating and calls that were obviously didn't go your way. Did you feel that the officiating in this game was perhaps worse than in previous games? You appeared to be more frustrated throughout the course of the game than usual.
Yeah, I didn't say that. We talked about some big data, and I asked about the key plays in the game, and I rattled off a few of them. I'd say those are big plays in the game. Touchdown called back, turnover called back, interception. So there was a number of things. Both teams missed field goals. It's they're big plays in the game, scoring plays.
Last question, Doug. Alex Austin said in the locker room that he wasn't expecting to start until pregame. How did he handle that situation, and how tough is that on a player to be thrust into a starting role like that?
Well, we all know that when a game starts, anything can happen. So, happened a little bit before that, but he was ready to play, expected to play, played a lot. So, but talked about that before. It's everybody's job to be ready to go. That's what we do. All right.
Well, that as I rightly predicted, that clears up the J.C. Jackson.
There you go. Mystery solved.
Any more questions?
I don't know. I think it might have been cut off at the beginning, but
we didn't get it.
I know it seemed like it came in a little late, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Mike is looking at me like ready because he knows I'm ready to tee off. That was another.
Go ahead.
That was a vintage Billism. I won't spend a lot of time on it. Where he's intentionally vague and wrong. So when that was Fred's. This was your beat, Fred. It was 4th and 3 from their own 42, so near midfield. 4th and 3 from the 42 with 14:50 left, down 17.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
They punted. Ben Volen asked him the question, what, you mean the play before the interception? No, Bill. I mean the 4th and 3 from near midfield that you punted. Not the play before the interception, because the play after the punt, this is what happened. Edwards-Helaire for 3 yards. Mahomes to Edwards-Helaire pushed out of bounds for 9 yards. Mahomes short right to Kelsey for 4 yards. McKinnon left tackle for 4 yards. Mahomes sacked -10. Kansas City punt. So now it's down to 11:22 left. No turnover, and you're on your own 27 when you got the ball back. No magic of you knowing that you were going to pick off the next pass, like you sort of alluded there, and you're hoping that no one notices. And hats off to Phil Perry for noticing and correcting it and saying,
yes.
Oh, wow. That's a big hit. You're right in this game, Freddie. They're hitting.
Yeah.
Dallas and Buffalo are really throwing the leather. The interception happened.
Everybody loves a donut.
Thank you.
I don't get that. Can someone explain this?
It's an old-timey song.
But I think he's doing it as long as you're going to throw things off
If
that
you're gonna
have
throw
nothing to
leather
do with,
around,
with
yeah.
this actual episode. He's going to throw in the donut song because they're equally applicable to the conversation.
Can I ask what for those of us that don't know?
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
What is the "Everybody Loves a Donut"?
It's a Duncan
reference?
song they have right
It's a
now.
jingle.
Oh, I don't know
jingle.
about this.
It's very. It's.
I don't know
it's
from.
funny.
I don't know from jingles.
To me, it's catchy.
What does your reaction to the Cowboys-Bills game have to do with someone listening to
Good
this
Hardy.
episode of the Patriots
Good Hardy.
postgame show?
I said fair
on
point.
a Wednesday after the game.
Non sequiturs.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a donut.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
You need to look at more television.
I don't watch a lot of ads.
Well, I hear it on your station.
That's why I don't like watching
Paul's
things on.
station.
Hope so.
Yeah.
See if we can do it. See if we can get that done, guy.
Do we know something?
No.
Oh, by the way, there were rumors that Miss Swift is engaged.
Yeah, a lot
And
of
she
lot of
was
rumors
very
to-
discreetly
Hiding
hiding
her
her
left.
hand. You couldn't tell.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's happening, you guys.
I won't say anything. I won't say anything. Oh my god.
Well, she's 34. I mean, her
The
clock
biological clock is ticking.
Well,
And by the way,
bit of a
Kelsey
spinster.
has not had a good game since.
No. When we walked down through the tunnel, there were just a lot of like girls in their 20s with very wide eyes, like just on the they were on the lookout down there. Oh.
Oh no!
Oh,
I
you
guess
see
you're
in
right.
both hands
Yeah,
right
slow-
there.
yeah,
Slow
no
it.
ring.
Oh, it's on the middle.
Wait, no,
But that's
who
not
would
a-
wear an engagement ring on their middle
Yeah.
finger?
That's why you watch
That'd be like an Andy Hart thing.
post
to do.
game show,
Okay.
slow motion Taylor Swift clapping.
Yeah.
When they
Is that
showed
why
her
we-
on
we,
when
uh,
they when
tuned
they
in?
showed her on the big screen in the stadium,
Jeez.
there were screams like, young girls screaming.
Well, it was a scream followed by a boo.
Well, yeah, but the screams came first.
Yeah. Oh,
I saw her blow a little kiss to the
We got
to the
we have a
Fonz.
montage.
We got a compilation here.
Yeah.
look at all the
Clapping,
Taylor Swift.
watching.
That's great.
She's having a great
Isn't
time.
that great?
That's
Living the
fantastic.
dream. Got to hop on a private helicopter back to Manhattan or something.
Apparently, she got a police escort all the way up from her place down. Where she live? Providence.
Newport?
Where she live?
Newport, Rhode Island.
Warwick.
She's
The
coming down
Newport
to
area.
No,
Oh, Newport.
Sweat Hill.
She's with
What?
she's dating Eric Scalavina.
Okay.
Wow.
East Warwick.
All right.
Matt Morrell knows all when it comes to Taylor Swift. Big fan.
Let's get back on the track.
Can we talk to Jake in Australia?
You are the host.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, Jake. Was that an Australian accent?
Morning, you lots.
What do we got? What do we got over there time wise? I don't feel like guessing.
You don't feel like guessing? It is
7:53.
currently 9:30.
9:30.
Okay. All right. Very good. What'd you think of the game, Jake?
I just got to. It's not so much the game. Bill's press conferences that are like the worst sort of torture you can ever listen to. What did you think of Bailey, Bill? Oh, you can't watch everyone on the field. He's your quarterback.
It
No
is-
idea. No idea what he did.
It's insufferable for two reasons. Number one, just the pathological inability to answer a question straight. But then, to Paul's point earlier, to go out of your way to lie about things, and say things that didn't happen when you know he remembers the sequence of events.
If I remember it, do you think he does?
I think so. I think he
Because
knows
as soon as
there
he said it,
wasn't
I said that's not
I don't know.
the right sequence.
I've been doing this long enough that you've called him out on enough. I'm not sure.
Jake,
because he does it all the time.
I don't know.
And then this is to Matt. Please don't torture us with it during the lunch break, the food break.
Oh.
Tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Tuesday.
By replay. Is that what you guys do while
he probably
you're
would play the Bill one from tomorrow morning, maybe.
while you're enjoying your 3-course meal in the middle of the Patriots Unfiltered? Do you re-rack the Bill
Yeah, our
press
one
conference?
break of the show. Yeah.
How long is the break?
10 minutes.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Enough
Yeah.
to take a pizza down.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, but in a 2 hours on your station, you would have like 20 minutes of breaks.
Yeah, but that's about right.
Right.
Yeah. Jake, do you?
Who,
do you?
And
You?
Paul, I can confirm that jingle is on your station.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
believe it. Jake, do you
Thanks,
enjoy?
Jake.
Do you
I didn't
eat
say
the
you made it
Vegemite?
up.
Do you eat the Vegemite there?
Yeah, it's one of those things. You just
Stuff
eat
is
it.
awful.
It's really bad. I tried it once. It's
Yeah, we tried it
inedible.
once. Fred and I thought we were
You
gonna.
gotta do a
I thought we were gonna
light
die.
Light lather, not like a thick peanut
thought I was
butter
gonna puke.
Nutella.
Right. All right. I'll try it with a light lather next time, Jake. Thank you.
Right, very good. Enjoy, Dave.
He said leather.
No, like lather.
Lather.
Lather. Well, Zappe was in a lather in the first half, and then he pooped down his pants in the second half. Let's hear from the quarterback here in his post-game press conference after the 27-17 loss to the Chiefs today. Here's the quarterback.
Hi, Bailey. I was just wondering if you could just take us through what you thought on your overall performance today.
Just simply not good enough. Started out hot in the first half again, like we did the previous week. Came in here, had made adjustments, understood what we wanted to attack. Went out in the second half, threw an interception on the first play of the second half, which is terrible on my part. You take away that, you take away 7 points, it's a whole different game. I mean, they got the ball on whatever yard line it was, and 2 plays later they scored. So, I mean, that's on me. You take away that play, it's a different game. So, not good enough. There's things that I'm going to clean up going into next week and get ready for the Broncos.
Bailey, on that interception, what did you see? Did you not see Gay in front of the receiver?
No, I saw him. That's just miscommunication on our part. I thought he was going to keep going. He felt Gay was on the back of his hip, so he's going to keep it vertical. That's on me. I was able to make a guy miss. I just need to throw it out of bounds. It's first down. You throw the ball out of bounds, 2nd down and 10. Who knows what happens on that drive? We're able to move the ball all day up to that point. So, I just got to be smarter. I got to be better, and that's on me.
Bailey, what was the feeling like after the pick, and you guys kept pushing and pushing, especially in that fourth quarter? Did you feel like maybe you'd go for it more on 4th down, maybe open it up a little bit more? What was kind of the mentality going there forward as you were behind?
Yeah, we just got to score points. All the situation stuff going for it, things like that. That's the coach's decision. Whatever play gets sent in, I try to execute it to the best of my ability. But we're playing a really good team, and defense played their butts off, and we got to help out a little bit. And that interception first play of the second half, I didn't do that, so I got to fix those.
On your left.
Bailey, you guys have been dealing with a lot of injuries. What was the mood like seeing Cole go down? David said he was sort of mad that they brought the card out. He wanted to walk off the field. What was the sort of mood sort of dealing with that and the injuries today?
Yeah, injuries suck, no matter who it is, especially when it's your brother. It's a guy that, I came in here with, I spent every day with. I've gotten to know him. Me and him are great friends. We've been together for the last 2 years. So, it's just injuries suck. Stuff happens, though. But, I pray for him, and I hope everything's well for him, and he can have a speedy recovery and get back and start playing ball.
Bailey, you mentioned adjustments at halftime. Did you see any from them that marked a stark change from what they had shown in the first half?
Yeah, they brought there was one time I got sacked on the corner pressure. They didn't do that in the first half. They did in the second half, and they got me on that one. That's something that, we watched on film all week to be ready for, and it was just something I missed. I sent the mic the wrong way, and I got to mic it backside, just things like that. They adjusted, we adjusted. I just didn't execute our adjustments, and that was the difference. So I just got to get better.
Yeah, just along those lines, was that the main difference? Obviously, the first half performance, you had conviction, you were performing the way you wanted to. In the second half, it seemed like that wasn't there. Was it the inability to react to their adjustments?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think you're going to look back at film tomorrow, and there's going to be a lot of things that, if I just do this a little bit different, it's a bigger play. Instead of throwing it one way, maybe I hit Zeke in the flat. Maybe he gets 10, 15 yards. Maybe the second play of the second half, or the first play of the second half, I throw it out of bounds, or I just scramble and get 5 yards. It's not an interception. They don't get the ball on the 5-yard line. They don't score a touchdown. It's just things like that, and that directly reflects on me because it's my fault, and I just got to get better at it.
Bailey, you mentioned the corner blitz. I was just wondering, with some of those blitz pressures, did you feel like it was protections, routes? What did you feel like led to some of those issues?
Personally, the issues aren't anybody else's problem but mine. I control that stuff. I do it. So, if I mic it right, that's where people are going. If I mic it left, that's where people are going, and I got to see it. I got to use my cadence. I got to use what the coaches gave us throughout the week as far as tendencies and everything, and I got to use it to my ability, and I didn't do that in that one play. They got us. There's other plays that we were able to get on the same page communication-wise and pick everything up, but, they got us on that one, and it was a pretty big play.
Bailey, just what's it been like with Hunter Henry? I think he had another big day today with 7 catches, 66 yards and a touchdown, another one called back. Went out with a knee injury, unfortunately. What's it been like for you to, your rapport with him, and how tough was it to see him go down?
Yeah, Hunter's a a great tight end receiver. I mean, he can do practically anything you want him to. We have a lot of guys like that in the tight end room and the receiver room. So personally for me, it makes my job easier because I feel like, no matter what they do versus Hunter, I feel like it's a mismatch that I just let him have his time, let him get open, and I can make a play or just, throw a good enough ball for he can make a play. I think we're filled of guys like that in our room. And it just comes down to me of, getting the ball to them, good ball placement, where they can, get yak after the catch. And, it's just up to me to get them the ball.
After that interception, when you go over to the sidelines, kind of what's your mindset or what are the conversations you're kind of having to maybe get yourself ready to get back in there?
Yeah, just kind of, the hardest thing about it all is to, forget it and wash it because, personally you want to be perfect. You want to not have any turnovers. So when you have a turnover, you're mad at yourself because there's something, it's so easy just to step up and throw it out of bounds. Like, why didn't you do that? So that's kind of things you ask yourself, and then once the next series comes, you just forget about it and you try to move on, and then tell yourself when that opportunity comes again where I'm in that situation, I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to do that. So it's just learning from those things and just getting better, and that's what it's all about. We were lucky this week. We got another week to get better and go after the Broncos, and they're a great team, and I'm excited to get after it.
There it is. Okay, there goes Bailey Zappe. We didn't really even talk about the interception. That was Mac Jones-esque.
That was.
That was just, I have no idea what you're
brilliantly put.
Leighton down, force it into a spot you shouldn't. Just like you said, just take the sack, take a rush.
There's
pick up a couple hours.
Yeah, well, there's no quantifying it. There's no explaining it.
Just a party of.
It was a defensive team meeting. I like to go to the defensive team meeting.
His brain wasn't working.
And he had a couple others that he was fortunate to get away with.
Look at all this red.
It's
he's like bracket and everything.
Yeah, a lot of people,
well, did you hear what he said though? He thought that the player was going to cut it up and cut it in, and then he went vertical. It was miscommunication.
Oh,
so I was inverted.
That happens.
But he also said they asked if he didn't see him, and he said yes, I got that.
Yeah, he saw the defender,
and he tried to throw it through him.
Yeah.
For all of the the Zappe mania, it looks this, it looks that, his passer rating is still worse than Mac's.
Yeah.
That's now 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. That's a lot of picks.
If we could just do the first half, it might be better.
That's a lot of picks and not a lot of time.
I don't want to use coarse language because I know it's
hey, Buster.
But
sorry, I didn't mean to get all upset.
In order to accurately read Matt and Framingham's email, I do have to say one word here. He said,
"You want me to beep it for you?"
No, it's pretty mild. He said, "In the spirit of the holidays, I will sum up this football game with the famous line from Christmas Vacation: the shitter is full." And it kind of feels like that. It's just
too late.
Oh, sorry.
And at the end of the season, you're going to need to flush.
Yeah, it's just
empty it right into the
Freddie,
sewer.
watch this Hail Mary at the end of the Chicago-Cleveland game. Watch this.
So close.
Oh.
He had it.
Mooney had it, and then he kicked it out of his hand.
I don't know.
Why don't you go down the end zone?
I don't know.
Tank much?
Final word on this comes from Miles in New York. Yes, Miles, what do you think?
How's it going, guys?
Hey.
All right.
I was actually really excited for this game when I saw the schedule came out because for some reason I thought the Pats would be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
But my question is, do you think that the way that they handled the end of the game was trying to tank, or because I think Belichick is just trying to save face at this point and doesn't want to get blown out?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, you and Paul agree.
I think there's some validity
not
to
tanking.
that. Yes.
Not tanking. Didn't want to lose by 17.
Right.
Wanted to lose by only 10.
And one point Paul said earlier, that's the Jets question. When you're asking, are we trying to tank or just trying to protect the scoreboard? These are things that happen to the Jets.
Yeah, and the reason I do remember the punt gets down inside the 1. They're down 10 points with what? 3 minutes left? 3.5 minutes left? Do you know what they did?
It was like 3:55.
They ran the ball.
They ran a quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
Well,
you could sell me on
room.
On the first play,
but you can sell me on spread them out and pop a draw and see if you can get 15 cheap yards.
On the first play, I don't mind it. It was the second play.
Right. The second play was inexcusable.
First play, unless you do the sneak, the play starts in the end zone.
Right.
And they didn't want that.
So again, because they didn't want to lose by more than 10.
Okay.
If you're trying to score, you're not running a quarterback sneak.
Well, I think they just wanted room to navigate the second
I,
play.
I know, Fred, but my point is you're down 10.
I know. Okay.
Like, room on the next play is irrelevant. Are we trying to score or not?
Okay.
Like, in other words, if that happens in the middle of the second quarter, I have no problem with the quarterback sneak.
That quarterback sneak, if they had done it 33 times, they would have been in the end zone. So there's some, there's some value to that.
Hardy said a funny.
Would have taken more than 33.
99 yards?
But they only got 2 yards.
I thought they got 3 on that.
They got 2.
Okay, all right.
Bailey Zappe had 1 carry for 2 yards.
So they do it 50 times.
No, but my point is...
Someone's got the play-by-play pulled up in front of them.
My point is... if that happens in a regular part of the game, let's say it's 17-10 and it's the middle of the second quarter, fine, carve out some room for yourself. Who cares? You need to do something to get chunks of yards. You need to go 99 yards in about a minute if you want to get back in this game.
Right.
You can't afford to waste 2 plays running the ball.
Okay, well,
the second
one play.
That's why I don't think
terrible.
One play.
That's why I don't think they were trying to score. I agree with the caller.
Okay.
I think they were trying to make sure they only lost by 10.
Is that what you want your final thought on this game to be?
Sure.
Okay, that's good. Fred, what's your final thought on this game?
Christmas Eve in Denver.
Right. We need to talk about that. Specifically, just timing of the pregame show.
It'll happen
can we do
before
an hour,
the game.
Can we do an hour
good.
pregame show,
8
too?
to 8:20.
Like, how about an hour pregame?
You're letting us do an hour postgame. Can we do an hour pregame, too?
No.
No.
How about 90 minutes?
He's a meanie.
Well, what's the difference? It's before the game.
An extra half an hour with my children on Christmas Eve.
Oh, boy.
He's
You don't
the
even
Grinch.
like your children.
I love my kids, Deuce.
Well, one of his
at least-
kids is
at least
Tiny
one of them.
Tim. You gotta.
At least one of them.
God bless us, everyone.
God bless us, everyone.
My daughter said
Now
she
that
might
one I
even,
got.
My daughter said she might even stay home on Christmas Eve if I'm there for an extra
Bring
30
him in.
minutes.
It's a Christmas
Come on
miracle. It's a Christmas miracle.
We'll have everybody. Paul's kids, my kids.
Hey, I want to have a quick shout out to my boy Worldwide Wes, who I found out last night, one of my friends. He listens to our postgame show all the time. I had no idea. I was like, our postgame show on Patriots Unfiltered?
Are you sure?
Patriots.com? Yeah.
You make it to the end, hopefully.
I found out last night
boy.
my friend Ryan actually listens to the pre. I don't know about the post, but definitely the pregame. And his wife told me she hates it. She can't stand it, but he's got it up on his TV. He logs on to the web browser and
his wife's
puts it
the
on
worst,
there.
though.
Yeah, yeah.
I found out Hardy has friends.
Oh,
And his other one that came into the show. There's two.
that's two friends.
Yeah.
Two
Steve.
friends. You got any final thoughts, Deuce? or we
No,
done?
it is what it is.
Okay.
On to Christmas. Finish your shopping, and it should be a good week.
My final thought is this. The hip waders, when you're fly fishing, seems like those would
different
have
types.
Well, yeah, but I think all would have a particular funk to them after a while, especially on a warm day.
No,
if
you
you're fly
wear
fishing.
the equivalent of spandex underneath.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
So they slide on a little better, and
Do
they
you wear
don't
like
stick
your
to your
wrestling
skin.
singlet?
That's what he said. Multi-use.
They don't
busts out
He
the
wears the
singlet.
required uniform.
Yeah.
Tights.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of this episode of the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings. Your final score for the final time as we will meet you again on Christmas Eve before the game in Denver. Patriots 17, Kansas City Chiefs 27. Thank you for listening and watching.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.